Well, the DP World Lions have had an impressive season so far. They recently won the CSA One Day Cup, and they are, well, perhaps some way to their target of a treble this season that was set in October by CEO Jono Leafright. And I'm joined by their coach, Wandile Gwavu, who's joining us via Zoom line. Wandile, thank you so much for your time this morning. And I'm speaking about that target by Jono Leafright back in October. Well, you seem to be making some strides towards that.
Thanks a lot for having me, Benji, and good morning to all the viewers and also listeners. Well, it was a target set by the CEO, and it's a target that we've also always set for ourselves as a unit. But unfortunately, we won't be able to achieve that because we've already played one competition, which is the T20 competition, and unfortunately we didn't do well in that. So I'm happy though that we've bounced back and won the 50-over competition, and at least for the third season in a row now.
Yeah, and winning that you did in style. You posted in the final 358, if I'm not mistaken, for 5, and it was a record that you posted at the Wanderers against Western Province. And you also lost only one game. I think the Warriors was the one game that you lost in the competition this season. What do you attribute this success to, Wandile?
I think it's just the consistency in the way we've practiced and prepared, and also the team that has played. We've had, I think, the similar group for the one-day competition now for the past two and a half seasons. I've lost a couple of players 3 seasons ago. So I think I'll credit that to the consistency in terms of the team that we put on the field, and secondly to the guys that have performed well. As you would know, that Sisanda Magala is the I think the best bowler for the third season in a row now, top wicket taker. Rickleton was the top run scorer, and I think it was 3 seasons ago where he was selected to go to Pakistan, and having played 3 games, and he was already the top run scorer at that time. So I think it's just the consistency in the performances of the team.
Yeah, and as much as we talk about the batters and the record score and Sisanda Magala, you had Luto Sipamla, who was an absolute star in that final against Western Province with a 5-er.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Was it his first 5-er? I think it was. Are we looking at the next big thing here, Wandile, in domestic cricket and international level?
I think Luto has already announced himself at international cricket and also in the domestic scenes, and as everybody knows about Luto, a lot of people would know about Luto Sipamla. But my thing for me about him was always that I always felt in the past 2 to 3 years that he hadn't played a lot of cricket locally because he'd always been traveling with the Proteas and not getting a lot of game time at the top. And I think this is probably the first season where he's got a really good consistent run, where he's played a lot of 4-day cricket matches. He played pretty much everything in the T20 competition besides one game. And he played a lot of games here in the 50-over competition. And he's still a young man. He's growing. And I think that he's always been one of the special players that we have in the system. And most definitely he's going to achieve quite a lot of good things.
And obviously, as a unit, you are still hoping to achieve some more. There's some competition still left in the season. I know very soon you'll be taking on the 4-day series as well.
Yeah, of course. To be honest, it's a very emotional trophy for us, looking back at last season, where we led that competition for, I think it was 99% of the competition, and we lost it on the last day, where we went number 1 for, I think, 6 games, and we went on to lose the last game, and we lost the competition in a very heartbreaking manner, and all credit to the Titans. They played a really good game that game. So we will definitely be looking forward to trying to amend the way we played last season and try and give it a good shot in us winning that competition also.
Wandile, you're a very young coach yourself, and I stand to be corrected, but I think you're the youngest coach in franchise cricket in South Africa, and you are already achieving a lot of things. I think you are definitely a topic in a lot of cricket corridors in the country, and arguably in the cricketing world in some other countries as well. Do you feel the responsibility on your shoulders? And I think you know what I mean by the responsibility because of who you are.
I've always felt, I'm gonna call it, I've always felt that privilege. I'm not gonna call it pressure. I've always felt the privilege because I think I've mentioned before that I started coaching very early in my career at the age of 19. So I've always been the young guy in the change room. I've always been the young guy in the room, uh, filled with a lot of experienced coaches and some special people. And I look at myself as being very lucky. I don't look at myself as somebody who's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders and trying to prove a lot of people wrong. I'm still learning. That's the most important thing, and I carry on learning. And I've been privileged that I'm spending some time with some world-class people as we stand now. I'm sharing a change room with Stephen Fleming, who's arguably one of the best coaches in the world. So from my side, I'm happy, and I think I count myself very lucky that my name gets mentioned around the world at the age of 35. And all right, that I am the youngest coach in the franchise scene, and that has been the case for the past, I think, 4 or 5 years. And I'm really happy with it. But I don't allow such things to get into my mind, because the most important thing is what I can add, the value that I can add in South African cricket system.
And I think you've worked with some serious names. You've worked with Jeffrey Toyana, if I'm not mistaken. You've worked with Enoch Nkwe at the Wanderers as well.
Yeah, of course. I think that's why I'm saying I'm very lucky. That I remember the first season when I came in, Jeff was the first coach here in Gauteng that actually invited me in his environment, allowed me to do a bit of fielding, and I think I got a bit of a chance to learn about franchise cricket there. So I've always been, I'd say, maybe a step ahead in terms of learnings about the environment of the next level. So that's where I've also been very lucky. And to mention Enoch Kwe, I don't even know where to start with that man. He's been really special in my growth. He's been really special in my life so far. Not necessarily just because of the opportunities that he presented to me, but also the advices that he's given to me. And also he's just been there for me day by day, and through all the pressures that he also has, but he always has time for me.
Well, I suspect you're going to be doing a whole lot of big things in your career. It's still early days, Wandile, but you're doing absolutely fantastic with the Lions thus far, and probably going on. We'll be hoping to see you at international level as well. Let's talk about, let's deviate from that a little bit and talk about something that's coming to South Africa in just a few days. The SA20 will be starting, I think, on the 10th. Firstly, what do you think of the competition?
I think it would definitely will be big for South African cricket. I'll speak first about the financial side. I think it's everybody's knowledge that currently CSA is in a very awkward position financially. So I am definitely hoping that this will definitely change the face of our financial status and also help out Cricket South Africa, because there's a whole lot of work that needs to be done in the grassroots. And secondly, for me, which is by far the biggest thing, over and beyond coaches getting opportunities and also some players getting opportunities to play with some of the best players in the world. I was thinking about it yesterday as I was driving to the hotel, that I'm just hoping that there might be a player out there in Soshanguve, Motherwell, Kwalanga, Soweto, somebody that might get motivated and inspired just by watching a player that they grew up in front of, playing next to some of the big names, Liam Livingstone, Kagiso Rabada, somebody who comes from the township, who's lucky enough to be part of this competition, and just look at the TV and say, you know what? This is somebody that I'd look up to, and this is somebody that I'd like. So this is a situation that I'd like to get myself in, and this is that I'd like to play. So that's what I'd like this competition to do for us in South Africa, because I feel that there's a lot of good young cricketers as well out there, but they just need that little bit of inspiration and motivation to get themselves into the right places. And
is T20 cricket the future of cricket, Wandile? The purists might argue differently. Some might say Test cricket will always be the best form of cricket. But are we looking at these T20 leagues around the world, your Big Bashes, your IPL, now SA20, your Caribbean leagues, as the way forward, especially for the financial incentives for the players?
Well, without getting emotional about it, it's not the future. It's currently happening now. I think T20 cricket is definitely something that's going to take cricket by the storm, and it already has. And as you've mentioned, that the financial backing that it has, and that's what players want. They want that financial backing, and they want to be comfortable. But from my point of view, Test cricket will always be the main cricket. I've said it before, that's my favorite form of the game. There's a lot to learn when it comes to that. But there's no competition between Test cricket and T20 cricket from my point of view. Test cricket is the main cricket from my point of view. But T20 cricket must never be looked at as something that should be competing with Test cricket. It is there for the players and also for the coaches to learn more things about the game. It's exciting. And more importantly, we need fans on the stadiums. Fans, I don't think that a lot of them love coming to the stadium and sitting there and watching cricket for 7, 8 hours. So that's what T20 cricket offers them. There's a lot of fun. So I'm hoping that we'll be bringing in quite a lot of fans.
Let's talk about Test cricket then, reluctantly, Wandile, I suppose, for the both of us. It's not looking good for South Africa out in Australia at the moment. And I was saying yesterday, I'm thankful for the rain at the moment.
I tell you what, I don't think our boys are thankful for the rain. Whether you're playing good cricket or bad cricket, you want to be out there, you want to play. Every team has gone through what South Africa is going through at the moment. That team is in transition. I've said it before. We need a lot of patience, and we don't have the experience that is required to dominate Test cricket. And we're currently playing the best team in the world. And from our side, I do feel for the boys that are there. I do feel for the coaching staff that is there. But we definitely need to start playing some really good cricket because people will get tired. We need the results, and I know for a fact that the players who are in the change room know for a fact that we need the results and we need them urgently. So hopefully in the next couple of months we're going to see some changes, and we're going to see some positive changes.
Yeah. We are hoping for some changes and quickly. Wandile, thank you so much for your time. It's really not looking good for South Africa out in Australia, already having lost 2 Test matches and in the third one and trailing by a lot of runs to Australia. That's Wandile Gwavu. He's the coach at the DP World Lions, who recently beat Western Province in the final of the CSA One Day Cup to retain their crown.